Hello, my name is Charles Vance. You know the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22, that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. Some people might think those two phrases or two lines don't have anything to do with each other, but they certainly do have. If you're going to be a good man, you've got to have some wealth that has been laid up for you as a just man, so that you'll have an inheritance for your children's children. That's a grandchildren. That's can be a lot of money nowadays. I'm along with Chief Strategist Terry Sacka, and we're on the wealth transfer today. Terry,
Hi,
it's great to see you again.
Good to see you too, and welcome everyone to the wealth transfer. And this week we're going to do some U.S. truth statistics. We're going to give you information about our U.S. economy that's going to be more truthful than what you're being told in the media. A lot of what you see out there is, I would say, half-truths, and I understand why. We all do. Listen, we want the economy to get going. We want to fix things. And if people really knew the perception of the truth, there would be a deflation like we were talking about last week, like out of control. You wouldn't do anything if you really, really knew what was going on. So welcome, blessings to you and your family, and may this information be very helpful in helping you prepare for the wealth transfer. You know, we've talked in the past, Charles, I know, wealth transfer not being in just the assets that you have, but even in some of the simplest ways, how God can transfer wealth to you by being in the right place at the right time. You need to be good stewards and good managers of what He's given you. We need to study the Bible, read the Bible daily. We need to be putting Him first. Put God first. All these others will follow. And so the information we're giving you today is really just designed to help protect and preserve your family. And this is part of the global economics you need to understand. This is just the United States. Next week, we're going to talk about Europe and give you statistics there. You need to understand the dynamics, so as this hot money moves around the world, you're prepared for not just the inflation, but my guess is potential hyperinflation.
Hey, explain to people what that hot money is. Maybe some folks didn't watch last week.
Yeah, hot money is really when they're printing. Well, every central bank, it seems almost every one, is printing unbelievable amount of paper dollars or their paper currencies. As you're printing these currencies, like for instance, China in the last 10 years has gone from 10 trillion to $90 trillion
with no more assets to back them than they had when they began printing.
Well, you know what? China, I would say China actually has been buying the assets too. That's what's scary. They're out around the world. I've seen them.
Well, how about the U.S. truth? How about the U.S. truth? The U.S. is printing money, the Federal Reserve Bank.
We're in debt more than any country has ever been in the history of the world. So, and we're printing $85 billion every single month.
The interest on our national debt
used to be what?
Used to be less than $2 billion. This has only been about 3 years ago.
It was actually like $1 billion.
One day.
Yes.
In one day.
What is it today?
A billion with a B.
Yes.
Okay. Today it's $3 billion.
Just
the interest.
$3 billion.
Do you think you could crawl out of that if you had that kind of interest loan?
Just interest.
Interest on your house?
Just interest. Just interest.
That's crazy.
$3 billion in interest we're printing. Or not printing, $3 billion in interest we have to pay every day. Folks, we have zero interest rates. If we have to raise these interest rates up like they say they're trying to do in the future, that $3 billion goes to $5, $6, $7 billion every day.
Now that's the U.S.
Our country has to print.
The U.S. government.
Just the U.S. government.
Just the U.S. government.
Yeah.
Wow.
Staggering.
I mean, it almost feels like that it would be impossible to recover from something like that when you get that deep.
Yeah, Charles, that's the whole point here. If we're needing to spend $3 billion, $4 or $5 billion every month just to pay interest.
Every day.
Every day. I'm sorry, thank you. Every day. Think about it. Folks, if you're keep thinking printing, that's how much they're doing. If you just pay the interest on credit cards, do you ever get anywhere? No.
No, you never pay anything off.
Never pay anything off.
And if you need something else and go purchase something else on the credit card, then you're just paying more interest and more interest. And that's the reason our government is increased in that interest that they were paying just 2 or 3 years ago. a third again.
Yeah, we've almost doubled the interest payments, and our economy is worse, and we have more debt, and we have 60 million, 70 million baby boomers, 10,000 retiring every single day, coming off of paying taxes and going on to these unfunded liabilities. We have...
Wait, what's an unfunded liability?
Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, we have $60+ trillion in liabilities as a government that has to pay out over the next 10 years.
Over 60 trillion.
Over 60 trillion.
See, that's staggering. That it almost seems like, again, that it would be impossible to recover from that. Is it possible for the government to recover from that? What are they doing?
No, we're not going to, because you saw a few programs ago, they raised taxes on the rich, right? And what did it get us? Nothing. I mean, a fraction compared to what we're doing. You could raise, they got the statistic, you could raise taxes on every single person 100%. It still does not pay off the government debt.
Double the taxes.
Yeah, raise taxes, you could take everybody's money. It still doesn't pay the government taxes.
So they've just gotten out of control.
To the point where there's nothing they can do. I don't really know the solution. Honestly, all I know is we're going to see our assets erode. We need to protect and preserve our assets in the future. You work 20, 30 years. Granted, this has been going on a long time, Charles.
Sure,
right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's not something that just happened overnight.
No, I mean, we're kind of not really noticing. Americans, you know, we kind of enjoy going out to dinner, barbecues, friends, having fun, movies. It's been happening slowly. But we better watch out, because this is not something that's a recession from the 70s or 80s. This time, it's absolutely different. So you better protect and preserve your assets. You know, folks, and for those that do want to protect and preserve their assets, we do have information that we will send you. Just register on the website, give us a call. It's loaded with graphs and statistics to give you an educated approach to diversifying your assets. It's free. We just want to merely help get you educated, because remember, those will perish for a lack of knowledge, says the Bible, and it's important just to be educated.
No, there's no obligation when people contact your company. Terry actually owns Cornerstone Asset Metals. You have people working for you there, but there's no, if someone contacts you and begins to ask you about like transferring IRAs into hard asset, they don't have any obligation.
No, because we're not a custodian. So, you know, and that part of it, you know, is the difference. And yes, we know, obviously we do sell in gold and silver and things like that.
You actually sell, if somebody wants to buy silver or gold, you actually sell this.
Yeah, sure. If they would want it to be sent home, absolutely. Yeah. We could just deliver to them home. It's really not, this isn't about, though, you know, here, come and buy something from us.
Sure.
I don't care if you get it from Cornerstone, just get it somewhere. It doesn't matter. Go down to your local pawn shop, pick up some silver Morgans. The point is just be protected in hard assets. Because when you see, if you saw the program before and you've seen the hyperinflation, inflation scenarios that are coming, the amount of money printing we're doing, wait till you see what we're going to show you today. What really amazes me is today we're going to show you charts, and they're beautiful charts, by the way. And matter of fact, these charts are actually on our website under inflation protection. And if you see them, what shocks me the most, Charles, is the information on the charts. Some of them are inaccurate now because it's far worse than the projection. And these charts come out of the Heritage Foundation, so wonderful conservative group.
And they're not very old.
No, that's what's surprising.
It's just changing so quickly.
It's changing beyond so quickly, rapidly. And folks, this hot money, all this money printed around the world, when it lands, it's going to cause tremendous inflation. And it's going to be disguised as the economy's booming. But you're going to find your assets deteriorating because cost of goods and services are going to go up astronomically. Yeah, and you need to be protected in a hard asset, of course.
I feel like I need to explain this again because there's new people watching. I don't want to spend a lot of time doing this. Let me have that sheet that we did on the underneath.
Absolutely.
This in 10 years, this is what's happened. The value in the last 10 years increased in the last 10 years.
Now, these are goods that we buy. These are everyday goods. Yeah. Now, we know what's interesting, people know this because they're buying them.
Sure.
But wait till they see the numbers.
But they don't think about it.
No, they don't know the percentage increase. Wait till they hear this.
Eggs, 70%, okay? Coffee, I'm thankful I don't drink it. Every once in a while, Mountain Dew. 160%.
Amazing.
Gasoline, 131%.
And that's actually 300% right now.
And this is just some stuff I pulled off the internet. Gold, 457%. Silver wasn't on this list that I saw originally.
They never want to tell you.
And it was 708% in 10 years.
They don't want people owning silver because they need it. It's a very finite supply.
Terry, even razor blades gone up 80%. And all of this stuff that we're talking to you about is stuff that comes out of the earth.
That's right.
That's why God gave us dominion over everything He created. We're supposed to dominate that.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if you owned a coffee field? Or if you had a gasoline field or something? Now, obviously, that's not as practical for all of us.
That's where our stewardship should be, though, our management. We should be managing things that are tangible.
Of the earth.
Instead, people are putting these in their safe or under the bed.
That's right.
They're managing paper.
They're managing paper. We're being bamboozled and looted by this whole currency thing, stock market, Wall Street thing.
It is not just an American thing now. This thing has gone worldwide.
Oh, it's definitely worldwide. Matter of fact, we have, I don't know where it is. It may be in inflation protection or in our silver page, or maybe even the gold page on our website. But we have that shows gold and silver versus major currencies all over the world. And it's a list of like 25 currencies. Every currency has printed so much that hundreds and hundreds of percent has gold gone up over those currencies. Because as the currencies go down, the gold and silver never go up. They stay the same. But if they're the same and the currencies are going down, it makes it look like gold and silver goes up. That's the only difference.
Wouldn't it be fair if I would just order some checks and start writing checks?
For what?
For anything I wanted to buy.
Well, that's what we're doing, aren't we?
well, it is what the government's doing.
Yes.
Is my point.
Well,
they don't have anything. They don't have a stockpile of something that has value in it. They don't have anything in their bank account. They're $17 trillion in debt. That obviously they don't have anything in their bank account, and they're writing checks, which is against the law, by the way, for you and I. One of the most prosecutable, that's probably not a word, but one of the things that you can prosecute for people for more quickly, that they'll arrest someone in this area for, maybe it's nationwide, write a bad check.
Yeah.
Write a bad check, buddy, they'll come pick you up. They'll put a warrant out for your arrest and put you in jail if they stop you for a traffic ticket.
And you know, they're saying up there as far as writing bad checks, you know, people say, well, the government, America won't write a bad check.
Right.
And we're not saying America will write a bad check, because if you notice, our congressmen are saying, you know, what is the good faith and credit? As a matter of fact, they just asked Chairman Bernanke, the Federal Reserve, one congressman, what is the good faith and credit line the Americans have built up? What would we have to pay right now, not counting, by the way, the obligations to our retirement accounts, our Social Security, Medicare, but just what is the debt we owe? Like the actual bill right now today, not counting programs. That counts backing up money in the banks, $33 trillion.
So the $17 trillion national debt is not really even
It's 33
accurate.
trillion right now if we include the money in banks. Now, when he directly asked the federal chairman, does that include the money in the banks? And he kind of laughed and he said, yeah, I saw the same article, but it is impossible. We could never do it. If we have a systemic collapse, folks, which I'm not really saying we're going to, although I'm not going to say we're not, because in history it has, but if we had a global collapse, 2008 was almost like that, by the way, but if we have it, the banks are not going to have your money. He said it, I didn't. And so I'm merely saying that you've got to be diversified. And if, as Charles was saying, if we're putting all of our faith into the system of the world in paper money, and we don't have hard assets, we're going to be in trouble. And you need to know the statistics of what we're talking about. Now, just in our country, and this program is going to do this. Today, we're going to show you some charts of just America and what we're facing. And a lot of us already know this. But remember, baby boomers, 70 million of you, you're retiring. You're coming off of paying taxes, and you're going on to unfunded liabilities. Now, remember, in 1980, you were just beginning to make your money. So in 1980, baby boomers were just starting to make money. Today, they're retiring 10,000 every day, according to Social Security. Now, that's 10,000 every day retiring, coming off of paying taxes and going on to these unfunded liabilities like Social Security,
where the
Medicare.
government is actually paying them money now, instead of them paying into this fund.
Now, that's in 1980, and here we are in 2013. In 1980, we only had $300 billion in circulation. Today, staggering trillions more than 1980. In 1980, we were the world's largest creditor nation, gave money to everyone. Today, we are the world's largest debtor nation. We have more debt than any country in the history of the world. I'm saying silver and gold went up 3,000% in 1980. They're only up 700% today. When that hot money lands, you're going to see hard assets skyrocket. Are you properly diversified? Are you properly protected? IRAs especially hold most people's money. And I'm contending, why is all of your IRA in hard assets in a bank and the stock market barely breaking even over 10 years? If you were in silver 10 years ago, $10,000 10 years ago is worth $6,000 today because the dollar's lost so much value. $10,000 in silver 10 years ago is worth $70,000 today. What do you want in your wallet for retirement, $70,000 or $6,000? I'm really saying, obviously silver goes up and down, but what a great asset to store. And in your IRAs, you can store silver into a precious metals IRA. We can help you with that information if you choose. We'll even send this information here. It's a free package. Just go and register on the website or give us a call if you have assets to protect. If you want to roll over an IRA, we'll show you how to do it. We'll answer the questions. It's fairly seamless, and it's almost no cost at all because they absorb it in the IRA rollover. But you can then roll over from the stock market into a hard asset for the future. So just know that that's available, because remember, knowledge is very important here. Because we want to get to show you what's coming down the line here with these statistics. And it's pretty shocking, Charles. Really is. What you just described in the increase in these goods, they're not counting these when they tell you inflation. Yeah, they're not. That's not in the inflation picture.
What's in the inflation
Inflation is excluding food and energy.
Wow.
That's like the two biggest things, right?
Yeah, I would think.
And then, of course,
Now,
cotton
they're doing
and,
that obviously to manipulate the numbers.
Well, they say it's because food and energy prices fluctuate so much they can't get a good grip on it. But no, come on.
They don't fluctuate, they just go up.
Right.
That's
So
what
all
we've
we
been
know
doing.
is this is very real, very important. So don't let that be fooling you. What you see on the TV is not what really is going on behind the scenes. All I know is we need to stop it. And in Washington, you see they're not doing it. They've tried, but both sides, for that matter, have not done it. And they're not going to do it, looks like. So, folks, you can count on a $17 trillion national debt turning into 20 and 22 within the next few years. It's just going to. They can't stop it. Go ahead and raise the interest rates. Go ahead. We pay $500 billion right now in interest payments on our debt. That's $3 billion a day. You raise the interest payments, interest rates, it's going to double those interest payments.
So it goes up for the government as well.
Absolutely
It goes up
does.
across the board.
Sure. And where are we going to get the money? Raise the taxes more.
Yeah.
You got to cut spending dramatically.
Certainly.
We spend $1 trillion in welfare. But they know you cut that welfare in half, you're going to have riots, and they don't want to see that. But we just give too much money away, to people. Where it's easier to collect welfare than it is to get a job.
No question.
And that's a
about it.
very bad scenario to be in. We need to create the environment for people to want to work. But if they're being supported, I mean, food stamps skyrocketing in this administration. In New York City, doubled what they were 4 years ago.
Wow.
Disability skyrocketing. You go to collect Social Security right now, they're trying to ask you if you have any ailments so they can give you more money. It's almost like they're creating this bondage environment to take us back to Egypt, I contend. Very scary stuff. And so for we the people, if we want to maintain a free society, we have to maintain proper financial management, but they're not doing it, folks.
We have to be good managers. The
Individually,
government's not
we
doing
do,
it. The
yes.
government's not doing it. It's our responsibility as
Yes.
individuals.
Yeah.
And that's what Jesus said that he would give us. We looked at this yesterday or last week, that it's our responsibility to be good managers over what we have.
Yes.
And if we are, he'll give us more to manage. That's part of that wealth transfer.
Yes.
If we're poor managers, He said that even what we had, or what we appeared to what it appears that we have, would be taken away from us. And again, that's that wealth transfer. It's backwards, obviously, but I mean backwards to what we want.
And you know, I think the whole body of Christ can participate. It's not always about gold, silver, or land, or something that maybe people who don't have the means can't participate in as much, but anyone can buy one silver coin.
Certainly.
You know, if every Christian in the United States just bought 10 ounces of silver, we control the world's supply. And then we could hold them ransom and tell them to raise the prices and we'll sell it back to you.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, really, do something. More importantly, honestly, than anything, get in the Bible on a daily basis.
Oh, yeah.
Go to God, ask Him for the revelation and the guidance, and let Him bring favor upon your life. Let Him bring ideas. The wealth transfer is about ideas, being in the right place at the right time, divine appointments with people.
Man, he'll, if we'll ask Him, it's amazing how He'll connect us with the right people.
And that's what it is. It's not. That's why I'm saying, you know, it's not about just give money to the ministries out there and then everything comes to you. It's not always about that. It's about really planting seeds of love, giving of time, loving on one another, and it'll happen. But you need to know, folks, because what's coming is so real.
We've just got to learn to be good managers of what we have.
Yeah, because look at what's getting ready to come. Let's show some of these charts here, because let's go to 13. This is the interest on our debt, folks. Now, this is going to be, you're not going to like this. Do you see that orange bar? That's the interest we pay on our debt. Every other blue bar are different programs. Those are government programs that we have. Government programs. And I hate to say this, but that orange bar, that's double now. When this was made, which is not too long ago, that has been doubled. That 227 million, or billion, excuse me, is now 500 billion. That's how fast it's growing on our debt. That's extraordinary, folks. You got to know that orange line should be double the size. That's not good. This is how severe of a curve of danger we're entering. Let's go to chart 14 now. This is every president since Kennedy and the budget that they've held in deficit. And you could see most of them always ran a deficit to some degree. And during the Clinton years, we had the smallest deficit, of course. That was a hardcore Republican Congress, and Senate were willing to do hard things. So we all combined and came together and did the right thing. But look at the dramatic amount of deficit we're holding under the current administration. And it's getting worse because neither side's willing to do something about it. So we could take that chart off. But you see how dramatic they're spending money? And what, I don't know, Kennedy goes back to what, the 60s, right? Or
Who?
Kennedy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the mid.
It shows my age.
Early to mid 60s.
Okay, yeah, so in the 60s. So since the 60s, we've had a manageable deficit to a degree and then collapse.
Right.
Now, it's not all President Obama's fault. Obviously, his proceeding helped set that pace.
It's people that are in leadership.
People that are in leadership, period, have been doing it. Both sides, folks, are irresponsible. Both sides. We've lost conservatorship in this nation.
It feels like it's run to the point that nobody's going to do anything about it.
They're afraid to.
Yeah, because there will be so much rebellion.
Yes.
You mentioned it'd be riots in the streets.
And I think that's why, matter of fact, speaking of, this is, I'm not making this up. I was going to actually show the image of this, but let me. You're not going to believe this. Our government has bought 2,700 unbelievable bomb-proof personal armored carriers that take a dozen men each.
How many?
2,700 of them. Brand new personal armored carriers.
What for?
For this country. They're for this country. And they said, well, if we need to go up to somebody's house, we can go up in this vehicle. Yeah. Go arrest a drunk driver in their house, or go get some guy for writing a bad check in his house with a personal armored carrier that a bomb can't even get to. A 50 caliber can't even penetrate the window. We ordered 2,700 of them, folks, and they ordered 1.6 billion hollow tip bullets. Why? You can't use them internationally. It's for this country. I'm not saying something's coming. I'm saying we're preparing for something that, and just put it this way, it makes you go, why? That's all I'm saying.
Certainly.
So let's go to chart 15. Chart 15 shows public debt held percentage to GDP. Folks, you can see this on our.
You got to explain GDP.
Gross domestic product. It's what we produce as a nation. Our debt exceeds that. Unfortunately, this chart shows that we were supposed to hit 100%, which means you're technically broke years from now. Right now, today, we could take that off. Right, and you see that skyrocketing, of course, going up. Folks, right now, today, we have reached 113% debt to our GDP, which means we're broke and we're 13% more than we even make. We're in debt. We're done. Greece hit 113%. They call that the danger level in 2009. And right now, Greece is on the verge of collapse with 30% unemployment. Extremely dangerous times, folks. The next one, number 16, this is U.S. debt limit. Look at that, staggering straight up since 9/11. So that says 16.3 trillion. We're now at 17 trillion, and we're at a pace of 2 trillion a year we add to that national deficit, folks. And remember, they asked Bernanke what it would be, and he said 33 trillion to wipe out all of our obligations as a country. Now let's go to 17. This is Social Security. Look at that. Right now in Social Security, folks, we're in the red. And I hate to say this, but those bars are already farther down than what that projected. That's how fast we've gone into a Social Security deficit. Right now, we pay more out in Social Security than we bring in money to cover it. It's already broke.
My dad actually told me back when they started, he remembered when they started the Social Security tax, he said there was nobody was using it, of course, because people were just paying into it. Very few people, you had to pay into it so long before you could draw out of it.
Yeah.
So he said that the government found a way to enact a law to break into that fund and start taking it out. So they actually started using that fund up.
That's a very good point. That's a good point, Charles. They don't have the money in savings anymore. It's not there. They spent everything.
Sure.
Social Security and Medicare has been spent. So they have to use money they're getting currently to pay off that obligation.
Or borrowing.
Oh, they're borrowing, but I'm saying this is where it's coming.
I mean, we're upside down on all this stuff.
And in the middle of that, folks, go to chart 18, look at this one. This is our welfare spending. Look at it, it's continuing to climb. They never stop. War on poverty, not only has it not worked, we got more people in poverty now than we ever had, and we spent $16 trillion plus. Folks, we spend $1 trillion a year on welfare, and we could end that one. Why that's important to understand, and these charts are on our website, and they're part of this package, actually. If you have assets to protect, and you want to preserve the wealth in your retirement accounts, your IRA accounts that you have, we will just register on our website there, or give us a call, toll-free number. We will send you this package for free because we just want you to be educated properly on how to diversify your assets. But it's important, if you want to roll over your IRAs especially, if you want to do it, this information will help do that for you. But get information, folks. Understand it. Go to the website, learn more about this, study it and study it. Be diversified, please. If you don't go through Cornerstone, go somewhere. We're just here to try to illuminate the situation. So please be protected. God bless you and have an amazing, wonderfully blessed week.
This program is called The Wealth Transfer. We're going to be back. In fact, we're on at this same time every week. We want you to tell somebody about the program. You know somebody that this information will help. Just let them know that the program is on. You can also go to Cornerstone Asset Metals and watch these programs again. Make sure you join us next week. We'll see you then for The Wealth Transfer.